It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Let's make some people mad today, shall we? We have to address it. I wanted to talk about fishing today. That was what I came in here fully intended on talking about fishing, but I think we'll push that to tomorrow because what a day it was on the 18th of August, 2026, to be a Seattle sports fan. And this isn't just for Seattle sports fans. This is for sports fans in general. A belief I have, I've talked about on the podcast before, but I'm going to bring it up again. But we're going to use Seattle as an example right now. As last night, it was a whirlwind of activity for Seattle sports fans. Whirlwind. You have on one hand the Seattle Mariners, who have made the playoffs twice this century and haven't been close a billion times. A team that, as it stands right now, is pretty much bottom of the barrel. They're the fourth worst team in the American League. They're 59-67. They've won 3 of their last 10. They're really, really bad. No one can hit. No one can do anything. They're awful. They're dreadful. And they lose 22-0 last night. They have and Michael, I'm sorry. This is why Michael stopped listening to the podcast, because I didn't love his Mariners. But I'm just being real. This is time to be real. 22-0. The Pittsburgh Pirates in 1975, the Cleveland Indians in 2004, both won games 22-0. Otherwise, you need to go back to the 1800s, where in 1885, the Buffalo Bisons won 24-0. And in June 28th, 1887, the Philadelphia Quakers beat the Indianapolis Hoosiers 24-0. Those teams don't exist anymore, and they were 24-0. So if you take out teams that don't exist, the Mariners, 22-0 is the worst shutout, tied for the worst shutout ever. 22-0, they got thumped. Just an absolute mess for a team that is terrible. At the same time, the same night, Hard Knocks comes out. The Seattle Seahawks getting covered by HBO Films as they follow the Seahawks through training camp and preseason. And this is what I'm talking about. I've talked about this for decades now. I have to say it. Last year was fine. If you bought Mariners stuff last year, you bought hats, you bought merch, I'm a diehard fan, Sean. I'm a diehard fan. I'm there through the thick and thin. No, you're not. Keep saying that. You are there through just the crap. They haven't provided you anything else. So you're there through thick and thin. No, you're not. You're just there through crap, and you're just consuming it. You just are getting plates of diarrhea handed to you every season, and you're just gobbling it up, saying this will be the bowl of diarrhea that tastes good. And that's what's happening. And they're just feeding it to you. And you're just buying it. You're working hard. You're spending all your money to go to games, to stay in hotels, to drive, if you're in Spokane like I was, drive across the state. You're buying jerseys. You're buying hats. You're buying T-shirts. You're paying for the viewing rights of the Mariners. And then they're like, thank you for spending all your money on us. Here's your yearly bowl of diarrhea. And you're eating it. And last year they make the playoffs, and it's great. And I'm right there with everybody because I love the Mariners. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I love the Mariners. But where is your realistic view on what's happening, especially on a night like last night, where at the same time you get to see John Schneider and the Seattle Seahawks front office actually working to make the team better right now. None of this, hey, we're gonna do things, just the continual bowl of diarrhea that is filled with the phrase, we are building prospects. We are building for the future. Young prospects. AAA looks great. Prospects. And here's your bowl of diarrhea. You lost 22-0. But that's not going to happen in 3 years because prospects. It's unbelievable. And this is what I hear from Mariners fans all the time. But they're going to be good prospects. Were the prospects 1 year old when you got them? Because I've been hearing prospects for 13, 14 years now. So those guys have to about be time to start playing, right? It has to be about time for prospects to start winning. And so here they are, the Seattle Mariners, 22-0. getting crushed. And here they are, the Seattle Seahawks, the defending Super Bowl champions, in a league that is just the league of leagues, the biggest moneymaker in sports. You've got ownership just building powerhouses to compete in this. And the Seahawks way up in Seattle, not in that same spotlight as some of these huge cities, the Rams, in LA. You've got the Giants trying to make moves. I'm not saying the Giants are great this year, but they're trying to make moves. These teams that are like really going for it. And the Seahawks are right there with them. And you get to see it firsthand. Let's make moves to be efficient and win right now, because this is what's happening. And so when I'm buying Seahawk merch and I'm buying the kids and I'm buying myself Seahawks shirts and jerseys and all that stuff, I am giving my money and supporting a team that is actively supporting me. You can see it on Tuesday nights on Hard Knocks. You can see this group, this team, the leadership. You can see them building for the 12s and building something that this fan base deserves to watch. If they did Hard Knocks on the Seattle Mariners, you would see the diarrhea factory. But they don't do that. So instead, you just somehow live in this world where it's like, but I love the Mariners. I grew up loving the Mariners. They've had some bright moments. Cal Raleigh last year, playoffs last year. Okay, that's fair. And I'm right there. Look, when they're winning and they're doing that, go give them your hard-earned cash. Buy that Mariner stuff. Wear that Mariner stuff. I'm sick and tired of buying gear, giving money, supporting a team that is serving up diarrhea sandwiches. So 22-0 is completely unacceptable. 22-0 in this season, right? If you lose 22-0 in a fluke and your team is still kind of in it, and it's like, holy cow, we just had a night where we lost 22-0. That was the night. That was an oddity. It's not an oddity when your team is the Mariners and you can't win year in, year out. You win 1 year, the world, I'm involved in this. I'm part of the problem. Everyone goes crazy. I went crazy last year. I was loving it, living and dying by every single pitch. I ate the bowl of diarrhea and I started eating it this year. But my gosh, everybody, years ago I said they need to string together multiple years. And I meant that. And last year I went right away from it. And I said, oh, maybe not multiple years, maybe just 1 year. And look where we are. Out of the playoffs, no hope, trading guys. We've got guys that are going to be good, though. No, we don't. No, fool me once, fool me twice. They've fooled 20 years. And we're still like, wow, but fool me 21 times, and there's no shame. It's just, we're just idiots. I'm not passionate about this at all. Can you tell? It's bad. Okay, Mariners fans, this is what I want from this, because that's where I'm at. This is where I'm at. And I've just yelled at your team, and I've been mad about your team, and I love the Mariners. I do. I love the Mariners. But I get really frustrated spending my hard-earned money on stuff that I don't feel like I'm getting anything back on. There's no return on this investment. And you look at the Seahawks on Hard Knocks on the same night you're losing 22-0, and you see return on investment. Oh, man. Okay, Mariners fans, I'm taking deep breaths. Can you explain to me where I'm wrong? Please, explain to me where I'm wrong. We're not talking about a team that, Sean, there's not a lot of teams that make the playoffs. The Mariners aren't close. They're not close. It's not like, we missed the playoffs by one game. No, we missed the playoffs by 22-0. You didn't even try to make the playoffs. A year after. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl last year, and their mindset, the Mariners made the playoffs last year, and their mindset is just, we'll just throw up all season. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl last year and aren't the favorites going into this year, and they're like, we got to become the favorites again. We got to win another one. We're not going to just say we did great 1 year and now let's just coast with that for a number of years, a decade, and we'll just say, remember 2025? Remember the playoffs in 2025? They're not going to do that. They're like, we won the Super Bowl in 2026. Let's win it again in 2027. Okay, that'll happen in one night. Crazy. The sports are wild. Crazy. Your team needs to perform for you to spend your money on them. There is so much money in that world. The owners have so much money. They can do so much stuff. They are billionaires. And so when they're not, and the thousandaires are spending their money, I have a really hard time with that. Okay, goodbye. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Mariners fans, hit me up in the comments.